Hello there, welcome to another edition of the Illumination portal. We're looking at the week of January 6th to the 12th. I'm Jen Duchene, and I'm using the Illuminating Journey cards. There's a lot of energy going on right now. I don't know if you can feel it. I certainly can. There's this energy of what we might call fate or fatality, of things just moving. Some things that may feel beyond our control. And in fact, many things are beyond our control, because the only thing we have control over is our thoughts, our feelings, and how we respond to things, the things we say, what we do when we are confronted by things. So we have a full lunar eclipse on the 10th, and we also have the great meeting of between the stellium that everyone's been talking about for the last couple of years, certainly the last year, this great meeting between Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn at 22 degrees, and that's happening on the 12th. So there's a lot of energy moving us forward into this space, into change. And this meeting, which does not happen very often, the last time in a similar setup was in 1284. I might have mentioned that before, because yeah, it's an unusual thing that does change our concept or belief systems. It changes our monetary systems, our idea of what leadership means, our relationship to the world we live in. It gives us an opportunity to do things differently. So having the impact of the lunar eclipse, full moon, 20 degrees, exactly 20 degrees. That's the 2. We're in 2020. We know this is about responsibility to ourselves, to the choices we make, finding how polarities connect, turning the polar extremes of what we believe and perhaps how we live upside down. So it can be a lot of change, shift, moving. And yes, when life moves and shakes us around, it can be disturbing. But what are we choosing to tell ourselves? What are we choosing to believe? This is a time where we are creators. We are creating the unknown through our thoughts, through our emotions. And so if we stay in fear, we create what fear creates, right? We birth what fear births. So we have an opportunity to do something different. Let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, so the first card, I've already asked what we need to know this week. This card is the 9. And it's interesting that we start off with a number. This deck has numbers, tools, and soul portals. So getting a number is very clear in the sense of whatever that shows to you. To me, it's this energy of moving forward. I feel like we are moving forward and needing to move forward. And it almost looks like a whistle. You know, when I look at it, it could be a whistle, you know, or a B or a D. You know, those are both important letters this year, B's and D's. So it's very interesting, as well as some kind of mirror, an opportunity for us to look in the mirror and choose the emotions and what we're bringing. 9 is a number of completion, so we know there's a lot of things that are coming to an end. We also know, because 9 is the final root number of the 9 root numbers, that it contains the wisdom of all the numbers that have come before it. So we are being reminded of the wisdom that we have from doing these kind of things before. We've experienced endings, we've experienced extreme conditions and extreme situations. We're battling with others. So what are we choosing to bring with it? What wisdom will we partake of in order to create or generate what goes forward? Because it's the end. So now we begin, and it is through our intentions, through our beliefs, through our actions that we build something new. And we know this year is a foundational year. It's a force. It's a foundational year for building new things based on our belief systems. The 9 also speaks to the ego, or the idea of, well, if I do things because I want to look good, or I'm afraid to offend somebody, then we're coming from ego, right? So when we choose to be in love and express ourselves, like just expressing who we are not to control others, but to express what is our truth or what we are connected to divinely or through source on the earth. There is very much this defined energy of meeting all of these things in a certain way. And of course, the 9 is also about unconditional love. It's this idea of being able to forgive and forget and lose this need to be right or to control others, and really using that wisdom to express who we are and go, yes, let other people express themselves too. We can all express ourselves, but come from that place of kindness and love, and this idea that we are all one. What does that look like? So just seeing that energy of the whistle and the B and the D again. So B, the letter B, be who you are, belong, and the letter D, be disciplined and devoted to the divine, to the thing that is true for you. So, we can march around trying to make everyone else obey us, and that creates, an us and them. I'm better than you, I know better, and everyone has wisdom. So the 9 reminds us that everyone has wisdom, and how to balance that wisdom among us, so that we're choosing to go forward from a place of what is the best for the collective, as opposed to I want my way, right? So very interesting. Second card we have here, so this is a soul portal, and that one is the 25. So I find that fascinating this is here, because you can picture, choose to see this as the portal of arriving as somebody from the unknown or from somewhere else, arriving into a place where you're carrying 2 things. One is the tree of life, or this kind of idea of recognizing our place in the world from a wholeness, right? Like we're not broken, like we're whole, and here we are. And a shield. So we come here not like just, we come with love, but we're not just going to let people push us around, right? So arriving in a place of great beauty and promise. So there is definitely beauty and promise here. It is a sacred, sacred time. And when I look over here, it's kind of funny, I see a B again. So it looks like B, B-E, B, or the letter B, this reminder of who we are. Who are we being? What are we calling things? And here is the earth. There's so much earth here. And the blue energy of source and water, our dreams, right? And what we're making them mean, or what we think when things are destroyed, that our dreams are destroyed. Perhaps when things are being destroyed, as painful as it is, it's an opportunity to begin over. What will you do with the magic that you're being given, the magic that's unfolding in front of you, knowing that you belong, that this is your time to bring your knowledge into the collective. So it's not so much being saved as recognizing that you're the one that has to be involved in order to kind of impact how the world goes forward. So it's not a matter of making everything horrible disappear. It's a matter of, here we are. These are the things that have been created through our own actions. And so now, what different actions, what wisdom, remembering the 9, what wisdom can we bring so that we can be in a collective, that we can be connected, that we can be whole beings that are loving, connected to the divine, that we recognize who we are, that we get to do that from a loving, kind, and whole place, where we're not all separate and pulled apart, as many of us may feel like in difficult times, that it's us and them. And then the third card, well, this is interesting. I haven't had one of these in ages, where we're having one of each of the cards, the number, the soul portal, and then here is a tool, and this tool is the, I'm going to pull this down so you can see it better, cloak of invisibility. So how amazing that we're being given this gift to know that sometimes we have to make the visible invisible. The things that seem so big, the elephant in the room or whatever it is, maybe that's not the right thing, not the elephant in the room, but this idea of I want to have what I want to have, and I'm going to make people do what I want. That might be something that needs to be invisible for a while. I also feel like it's a reminder to put our agendas aside or to cloak our agendas, not as it's behind and I don't want people to know, as opposed to being more involved in what is necessary and needed, as opposed to some of the things that we might view as luxuries. It's a luxury to think that we as an individual know the answer for everyone. We may know the answer for us, so that's what we need to activate. We also have to bring what has been invisible into the present, this idea that we don't have a voice, that we are just following what somebody else says, that we're just waiting to be told what to do. All of those things that have made us invisible. Now it's time to bring those things forward and not get hooked up in that invisibility of like, who am I to do this? Who are you not to do it? It's everyone has to take their responsibility for whatever they're here to do. And we're not all here to do the same thing. So that's a relief, right? We don't need to do what somebody else is doing. Well, we are being called to come to our heart, to what is true for us, knowing that we're in this great time of endings. So when we're at endings, that we have to let go, we have to love, we have to open and open and open to bring in something new and different. And that means putting aside our differences. So making that invisible, our differences for now, and going, I don't need that now, because what I need is to know who I am and what I need to do. And what does that look like? And only you can decide that for yourself. And remembering when you're working with the collective, that yes, you decide what's true for you, you know your boundaries, your parameters, you share that. And then you accept what other people's boundaries are. And in that framework, what do you create? So we'll just remind you, this is the 9, this energy of endings and of new beginnings, making wise choices. Coming to the place as if you are a stranger, bringing all of you to this beautiful world. Well, you don't come to a beautiful world saying, this all sucks. You just go, yes, this is how it is. And what can we do to bring about the change we desire, the life we bring? And so what do we need to make invisible right now is our differences, our put aside our emotional hurts, right? Get over those things so we can help those who need to have the conversations, right? Ending those emotional roadblocks, like I'm hurt, therefore I'm not going to get involved. And instead we go, yes, I'm hurt. What do I need to hear or do? What can I put aside so I can go forward in this path? So here we have it. I'd love to hear what you think about it, what's coming up for you. You may have a completely different framework for what the cards are sharing. And I'd love to hear it. So leave me a comment, like, subscribe. I'm trying to increase my subscribers, so I'd love it if you would subscribe. Click on the bell so you can get notifications. And I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're interested in the cards, Duchene.com/Illuminating Journey cards.